Many things had been hard since Jern's father had died, but the hardest, she thought, was when her mother had to go away over the mountain to the marketplace to sell the pots that she made, so the family had something to live on, which meant that Jern was left with only her younger brother in their cabin. It was hard, but it was what had to be done. And so she was prepared that early morning when her mother loaded up the horse and rode off up the mountain. And as was her custom, Jern stood in the doorway and watched her go. And she was surprised when her mother turned as she almost disappeared up the mountain and pointed at her and called from up the path, "Be perfect!" What? Thought Jern. What a thing to say, but the more she thought about it, the more she realized that was probably the advice she needed. Be perfect. That was what her mother would want. That was what her father would have wanted. And so she decided she was going to do her level best to be perfect the whole time her mother was gone. Well, being perfect isn't easy. When you're trying to make toast over an open flame, the chances of burning the toast are really pretty good, which is what happened. And when you're not so old yourself and you're trying to deal with a younger brother who doesn't want to wash behind his ears and doesn't want to sit at the table when it's time, well, it's awfully hard not to lose your temper. And, well, it's also awfully hard to get up early enough to milk the goat that the goat doesn't end up waking you with her uncomfortable bleating. And if you're not so very large yourself and you have to carry the bucket of milk back to the cabin and the ground is rocky, it's hard not to spill just a little bit as you come back. And as the days wore on, Jern realized that doing anything perfectly is really next to impossible. And the more she tried, the more it seemed that nothing was ever going to go right. What was she to do? She didn't want to disappoint her mother. She didn't want to disappoint the memory of her father, and she was trying so hard. And so by the time that Jern's mother finally returned, and she got off the horseback and came to the front door, Jern ran and she threw herself into her mother's arms, sobbing. Honey, what's the matter? Were you scared? I'm so sorry I was gone. What happened? And the words came tumbling out of her mouth. Mom, I tried so hard. You said to be perfect, and I tried to be perfect, but I wasn't. And I spilled the milk, and Tosh cried, and I tried. Honey, slow down. Tell me, what's this about perfect? You said you pointed to me as you went up the mountain, and you said to me to be perfect, and I tried, but I couldn't. Be perfect? Why would I say such a thing? You said, just before you left over the mountain, you pointed to me to make it clear. And Jern saw the expression on her mother's face change to somewhere halfway in between laughter and tears. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. You misunderstood. I was pointing at the apple tree behind you. In the sunrise, it looked purple. I said the tree's purple. I was pointing at the tree. I said the tree's purple, not be perfect. Honey, nobody can be perfect. Oh. But you know what? To me, you're perfect. Every minute, every day. Just perfect, no matter what happens. Well, Jern felt just a little bit silly as she dried her tears, and she went to get her mother a bowl of the bean soup which she had made, which her mother declared to be perfect, even though some of the beans had burned to the bottom of the pot.